You can't walk in the same shoes as your old self did because that version of you didn't survive your journey. You are who comes after. This is your resurrection. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the channel. My name is Obsidian. I'm your local shadow work cryptid, and this is Black Dragon Alchemy. I created this corner cave on YouTube so that we can dive into the unknown, dance in the void of our subconscious, and initiate our souls into alchemizing our own rebirth through our own conscious healing. Today, I am tapping into perhaps a very niche collective. This energy that I'm tapping into today is very, I don't want to use the word anxious, but it is definitely very energized. It's almost so energized, it's overwhelming. I feel I might be talking to perhaps maybe even just a small fraction of the collective today. I'm not sure who this message is for, but whoever it is for, I really hope it finds you. This collective that I'm tapping into has recently either really discovered some things about themselves, or you've finally faced everything that you may have been repressing, which would be very overwhelming and could be triggering some anxiety. It's almost as if when you are having some sort of reaction, perhaps like a trigger, something has triggered you, but it's like it's something that has happened in the past and you almost have to talk yourself through. This is just like a muscle memory and it's a reaction, and you're having to talk yourself through calming yourself down. But it's almost like you're at the point of wondering, where is this coming from? I'm picking up on the energy of somebody who has also been very solitary recently. You are alone, but you're not lonely. You are quiet and withdrawn, but you're not quite depressed. You're just very in your own energy, and there is nothing wrong with that. I'm not quite sure if something has triggered you into diving into this energy, or I don't know why I'm getting like a feeling of dreams. Somebody could have had a dream, and when you woke up, it really made you wonder, and this could have started you on a path of, why would I dream this? Why is this person in my dream? This may have actually been, I don't know why I'm picking up on this. This may even be for a smaller group, perhaps an ex or somebody that you were in a situationship with, or a partner, an old partner of sorts, somebody who had very intimate access to you. And it's almost like this dream may have triggered you into revisiting a certain point of time or a certain situation, and then taking it a layer deeper made you question some things about yourself that maybe that old version of you that experienced this didn't quite understand at the time. This could have been a really long time ago that this connection could have been, maybe, maybe not. But it made you kind of look back at yourself when perhaps you weren't at a point of real self-reflection, or at a point of healing that you might be in now, or open and willing to be facing some sort of trauma about yourself. Now you might be a little bit more open-minded and seeing something from a higher perspective versus when you were then, when you experienced this. And because of that, you're starting to really see how you may have been operating from a place of self-doubt or uncertainty. I feel like maybe whoever you are, you were in that people pleaser energy of sorts. You were very giving of your time, of your energy, of your generosity, and people took it for granted, or someone took it for granted. This person could have been keeping secrets from you. They could have been telling you half-truths. They could have been very sneaky with something. I'm getting a very here, now, gone, the next moment sort of energy, somebody who is very flighty, very smart, very intellectual, but like cunning. Like they knew what they were doing. Or maybe this group knew what they were doing, or maybe they didn't. And you are just such a nice person, such a giving person, and you wanted to keep the peace. You were the one that everybody turned to to stabilize themselves. And it's like you seem to just have this endless well of giving and love and compassion and time for others. You were so generous with your energy that people or a person took it for granted. And it's almost like you didn't know until you knew. And whatever that was something that happened in the past. And I feel like now you have the perspective to look back and notice some inconsistencies that you had that you didn't know you had. Thinking that you were, like I said, just this endless well of time and energy, but we're human and nobody is. And I think perhaps this has prompted you to really explore more relationships or dynamics that maybe you felt abandonment or betrayal in. And maybe that left a wound that is now like it's ripped open again. So you might now currently be dealing with, you may be feeling like that sense of betrayal all over again. Like it's abandonment all over again, regardless of how long ago it was. And maybe now looking back at it, you're seeing, and it's almost like there's a sympathy that you have for your older self that really is, it's honestly quite beautiful. It is heartbreaking, but it's deeply compassionate. And it's a forgiveness of yourself that you didn't know you needed because you were so wrapped up in giving to others that you forgot about yourself. You forgot about what you wanted, who you really were, because you were letting the needs of others shape you unconsciously, but it was happening. So now it's like you're going back and you're looking at all those details and the intricacies and all the contradictions, all those deep emotional currents that you weren't aware of then, you're learning of now. And you're understanding that this is actually like your own emotional labyrinth of unexplored territory that it's almost astonishing in a way. And unraveling all of these threads of feelings is helping you seek the clarity that you have needed all along. Clarity about yourself, clarity about your environment, of the situation. You know, was this even real? Did this really happen? Because sometimes trauma is like that. We can forget large portions of time, years even, if our psyche deemed it so. You know, was it a dream? Was this a nightmare? Like, did this really happen? And it's almost like you're at that point of, did this really happen? Did I let myself fall into self-doubt and imposter syndrome that heavily because of, I'm getting the word trickery. It's almost like they mentally or emotionally, there was manipulation. And then as soon as you would start to realize something is happening, they would quick change the subject into something different. Almost too fast for you to even really navigate or process what was happening. It's very unsettling. I'm sorry that you went through that. I honestly can relate. But know that you do have the strength and you do have the emotional and mental capacity to navigate through all of this. You are emerging stronger than ever on the other side of this. So I don't think you're going through this currently. I don't see that. This is a reflection period. This is almost like the hermit in the cave. You know, you are deeming your own spiritual illumination here. You're releasing old attached. Oh, excuse me, my voice cut out there for a second. Somebody could have some throat chakra blockage, or you weren't able to speak your voice don't know why I'm getting that too. Someone may have had their voice silenced. Whatever it was, it's time to release it. Old patterns, old attachments, anything that no longer serves you, surrender it to the unknown. Open yourself up to new things, new possibilities. Because if you internalize this, I feel like most of us would know that it doesn't do us any favors by internalizing and hanging on to things, but it's almost like a part of you, or maybe it's your higher self, actually. Yeah, your higher self it's almost like a cautionary tale of what happens if you weren't to step into something higher so that you can really look at these unresolved emotions, how powerful grief can be if it consumes you, how much guilt can drag you down and suffocate you if it's not confronted. The consequences of unaddressed pain and how much that can consume your soul is actually what it's like. That's the revelation right now. And I think that's where the sympathy towards this old version of you is actually going, is you're understanding how much you were wrapped up and tangled in this. And it might actually be terrifying to you to think that you may have come so close to something perhaps very permanent or very scary, or maybe you were on the verge of a psychotic break. I don't know why I'm getting that. It's this very heavy identity crisis. This, I suddenly don't know anything about anything anymore, is what it's like. There's just so much doubt. But at the same time, ironically enough, there's also so much understanding. How did I get here? But sometimes it doesn't really matter how we got there. The point is that we got there. And the point is you walked through the door and you welcome the opportunity for change, is really what it boils down to. And now you are sitting in an energy. It's like you're in this whole other timeline now where that old version of you didn't make it through, but now you're on a timeline. You had made a choice to walk through some door, to confront some part of yourself and accept that part of yourself and accept the knowledge that you know you didn't deserve this. You know you didn't do anything wrong, but you also know that you are responsible for your own healing. Nobody can do it for you. There is no program or anything that you can partake in that will ultimately do it for you. The choice is yours and you have to do it. There's aids, there's things that can help, but ultimately the choice is yours and they're your demons to confront and tame. But know that your pain, that depth of pain and how much that consumed you, you can also alchemize and transmute that into your power. If that gives you any scale of your ability and your potential for change, how deeply you felt that betrayal is also how deeply you can provide change, that you have the power to do good or to help share that. Anything hidden, anything suppressed, everything is asking for you to look at that right now. And it's asking for you to look at it honestly, willingly face those shadows, confront those fears, acknowledge your past mistakes or regrets. Allow yourself the grace to grieve what's been lost. Allow yourself to grieve the life that maybe you thought you would have, but you don't. Or for my trauma survivors, which if you found this channel is probably most of you, to allow yourself to grieve everything that happened to you so that you can grow, because you know you have to do that. It's like a decompression. Pulling that around with you, that weight, knowingly unacknowledging it, is a very heavy thing to carry around. When you know you have things you need to deal with, but you're choosing not to do it because you just don't know what's going to happen if you revisit this, but you chose to revisit this. And it may have been terrifying. you honestly may have had a whole experience out of this. You know what I'm getting is that I feel like this was an initiation for you of sorts. And the reason why I think that is when I was meditating earlier, I was getting the words anointed one in my head. Now, I know anointed one was a reference to Jesus. Anointed one also in Hebrew. I did a little bit of research before I looked this up because Christianity is not my personal religion, but I do believe that Jesus was a person, but I also know that certain rulerships have really skewed history a lot. So, anyway, I do know that he did walk, he did live, he did get crucified for things that, whether that be real or not, figuratively or not, crucified for wanting to bring change and helping people know that they were actually their own gods. Empires didn't like that. They wanted people to need them. And Jesus was teaching people he didn't need anybody. They didn't need anybody. They were all their own Christs. And history goes on. But the anointed one is actually a person who is ritually blessed with oil, and it signifies that they are chosen, consecrated, and spiritually empowered by God, whatever God you subscribe to, however you view the divine and connect with it. It's a mark for a specific role or a divine mission. Now, prophets, priests, and kings all were considered quote unquote anointed ones. This was a mark for high office. This was a prophet being predicted in scripture to, quote, deliver humanity. Like I was saying, I think this is actually a very deep initiation for you to confront not only your shadow, but to also embrace who you are meant to be. You are meant to make waves in this world. You were one of the ones who was sent here to usher in a new era of consciousness. That was also one of the things that Jesus was here to do, to usher in the Christ consciousness, okay? Mary Magdalene, same thing. It was just the feminine version. It was the feminine energy of the Christ consciousness. And I think you are starting to understand the deeper truths, the deeper meanings of everything that's happened to you, of all of the things that you have gone through. This initiation is inviting you to seek the truth within you and in the world around you. You're on a path to discovering really profound things and revelations and insights about yourself. Trust what you're shown. Trust your guidance. Trust what you see in your dreams. If you cannot shake it, there is a reason for it. Trust your inner guidance. It will lead you to hidden truths that need to be understood. It's like this great unveiling that's happening for you right now. And it's exposing you to all the things that's been hidden away and obscured from you. Whether you did that to yourself or whether you just didn't understand it at the time, you're understanding it now. And while this process that you're going through may right now feel very unsettling and uncomfortable, it is an opportunity for growth. It is a great opportunity for transformation and for healing on a whole new level. This could have been something that you thought you already healed from. But everything goes in a spiral. And like I said in one of my last videos, we can come back to the same situation, but we'll never come back to it in the same way we were before. You're going to be a little bit more healed. It may still hurt, and that's okay. There is no, it should be done by this many times. There is no structure for healing. Healing is not linear. It goes in a spiral. You can come back to the same place more than once, twice, 3 times, but you're never going to be in that same place. So you're bringing liberation and empowerment to yourself with every choice to come back and visit this. You're bringing more power, more liberation to yourself, and you're getting yourself on the path that you needed to be on. But you wouldn't be on it had you not really gone through this. And I think that's where you're understanding that it's hard to not want to hold a grudge against someone or something that has wronged you at any level of wrong or abuse, or triggered any kind of trauma or betrayal, or deceived you in any kind of way. It's outside of that. And you're starting to see that the box that it came in, it's not about the box. It's about what's inside. It's about the lesson that comes attached to the situation. And right now, you're on the brink of that transition, and you're at a time where there's like a veil between the realm of possibility and the realm of actualization. You're walking in that very liminal, thin place of making it happen and considering it a possibility. Know that you have the power to do it. And know that the universe is actually conspiring to bring miracles into your life. It's trying to help do you favors. It's inviting you to embrace wonder and the awe, like I said, the astonishment that comes with these revelations. Your will, your pure, unwavering manifestation and intention to face this have laid some serious groundwork for divine intervention. Miracles you've been calling upon are gathering momentum. It is a testament to the power of belief. Your dreams hold great potential. Your whole sight is being changed, and you're starting to understand you don't have to be a martyr to make a difference. You don't have to sacrifice yourself to any kind of greater good or to any person or any body. Let go of the things that are suffocating you. It's like, let them die. Because with that comes a brand new determination. It's like you're being invited to use the chains that bound you as a weapon, or to use the ground that you burned everything down on, scorched earth, fertile ground for new things. Very much so. And like I said, I'm not sure. I feel like I'm talking to a very small crowd here, a very small portion of the collective. This is somewhat of a niche message. This is very deep. This is someone who has gone through some serious trauma, but is also one who is very able of self-realization and self-actualization. And I think you have found yourself. You've met yourself in the labyrinth of your mind, and you are definitely climbing the stairs to your own ascension here. And that in of itself is something very empowering, and you should be very proud of yourself for that. I am very proud of you for that. It is not easy. It is not an easy path to walk. It can feel very condemning, and you can feel very lost, and things can feel very pointless while you're walking it. But no, everything is changing, and you have a exceptionally divine message to share with the world, or a energy that is very much needed. And know that wherever you are in the world, you are very strategically placed to be there, no matter how much you might feel out of place. The family that you were born into, the point of the world in which you live in, the time of the world in which you live in. You could be questioning everything, but just know that you are meant to be here. Your soul wanted to be here. The human energy and human consciousness does need you here, and apparently, so doesn't Christ consciousness. I might talk a lot about the taboo and a lot of dark things here, but I do believe in types of consciousness. And I think you have definitely come here with some sort of mission to help spread some sort of word, to help share with others the liberation that you are now going through. But first, you must go through it. You must understand the depths of which this is made of. So, I think I'm going to end this reading there. I might do a part 2 on this because I'm not sure if the energy quite feels finished yet. So if you would like to join me, I will be diving a little bit deeper in the next video for this. Otherwise, if this is where we part, I thank you for joining me in this reading. I know it was a little bit of a longer one. Thank you for sticking with me. If anything here resonated with you, I would love to hear from you in the comments, or you can hit the subscribe button if you would like to hear more in the future. Thank you so much for hanging out, and I will catch you guys on the next reading.